Hello and welcome to Global Talk Show by Business Power Academy, Netherlands. And today, this evening is going to be super special, super awesome because we have a super amazing guest from USA, Anita C. Powell. Welcome, Anita, to our show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Supriya. It is so good to be here. Feels good to sister share with you, sis. So I'm happy to be here. Hello, everybody that is watching now, and those that will watch the replay. How's it going? Blessings to you, and thank you for taking time. You could be, as we say in the States, you could be anywhere. But if you're watching this replay or on live, you chose to be here. And for that, I am grateful and thankful for you.
Thank you so much for these lovely words. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before I take a deep dive in my journey with Dr. Anita, let me apprise her. She is founder of TAP NTU Movement, LLC, Empowerment Through Spoken Words Poetry, a Help to Heal, Foundation, Ingai Poetry and Music Publishing Academy, and whatnot. She's a multi-talented woman I have ever met, and I am so excited to start this journey on. Well, Dr. Anita, it's really great and honor to host you today on my show. And I would love to know the terrific, the great, the inspirational journey of your life to the world.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. First of all, I really, I always start off with this. First and foremost, I'm a mom of two beautiful twin girls, two handsome sons-in-law, and a grandma to precious five. They are my inspiration. They are my motivation. They, that the family, God first, family second, and we organize everything else, and that's been my creed since the 80s, and it's been working with me. As far as the journey, we all have our shadow, those lessons that we're to learn, and once we learn them, then we don't have to experience them anymore. And this journey has just been absolutely wonderful. A major part of my journey took place in 1998 when I should say the second, when I left 19 years tenure with my employment with the state of Michigan. And I left on a wing and a prayer, because how that evolved was that growing up all my life, I've always wanted to know my relationship with the creator of the universe. You know what I mean? And that's been, it's still very important to me. That's been a primary thing for me, a dream. So I had searched many different ideologies to see which one that resonated with me. And then in the 1980s, I met and was introduced to the world of metaphysics. I have a doctorate in in metaphysical science, philosophy, whatever word you want to put behind metaphysics. And it was in the 80s that when I was introduced to that way of thinking, because it's not a religion, it's like it's a philosophy, it's a way of thinking. I knew that was for me, because it wasn't an intellectual knowing, it was a feeling knowing. And when I first went to one of the services, and girlfriend, the minister or the pastor, when she went into shut down those lights in the service and started the meditation thing, I said, oh, I know I'm here. I know I'm in. So, so I started, meditating. But then during the meditation, Dr. Supriya, I would get this, I call it a feel heard, where you hear it in your own voice, but you know it's not from you. It's just you can't explain it. And I would hear that, okay, you're going to have to leave your job on a wing and a prayer. Because all my life, people would talk about religion and different things, and I would say, listen, I'm from Missouri. In the States, we have this thing, I'm from Missouri, the show me state. I said, God got to show me, personally with my own eyes and feel it with my own heart. So during that time, it would say, okay, you're going to have to leave on a wing and a prayer. That's your path here. And
That's
that scared me because I was a single parent and I was so supportive of my daughters and they were in school. I said, and I have this job. I'm not making bad money here. I have insurance and I'm getting paid every 2 weeks. I said, you got to be kidding. I'm not leaving my job, to go on a wing and a prayer. So it scared me. So I stopped meditating. Well, the love of meditation, just the love of being able to connect with that energy. Of course, I went back to it because I missed it. And I would hear it again. You're going to have to leave that job. And then I would stop and then I would do it again. Well, in 1998, it was in a March. I went to the human resources and I said, her name was Kathy, a friend of mine. I said, Kathy, I said, I need to fill out the exit papers. And I was doing it twofold to continue my journey to grow my faith and learn my relationship with God. And then also my grandfather had suffered a major stroke. So I wanted to help my sister because he was living with my sister. So I wanted to help him. He needed 24-hour care. So it was a twofold thing. So I shared with her, I said, well, Kathy, because I was on a leave of absence helping to care for him. And then I just decided, those angels on your shoulder, one was saying, are you crazy? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Because my daughters, they were in college at that time. And the one would say, are you crazy? The other was saying, yeah, but you got to do it. You got to do it. So I was, of course I was afraid. Of course I was terrified. I'm going to walk away from a job and have nothing. I didn't have a husband. I didn't have a boyfriend. I didn't have monies in the bank or anything like that. So I went to her and I said, Kathy, I said, I'm going to, let me have the exit papers because I'm leaving. And she said, oh my God, Anita, please don't do that. She said, take away Wright's leave of absence. That's where we can take a leave for about a year and then we can come back. I may not be able to come back to my position, but my job, my employment status is secure. And I told her, I said, I can't do that. If I take a leave of absence, I am stepping out on not faith. The reason for me stepping out is because of faith. So I can't do that. And in the interim, of course, there was what I thought that I suffered a financial hardship for about 7 years. But it wasn't until years later, Dr. Supriya, when I learned that I did not have a financial hardship. It's what I saw. I was blinded to what I did have because I concentrated on what I didn't have. I concentrated on that I didn't have certain foods in my apartment. I concentrated on that I was afraid each month to pay my rent. However, people would come and they didn't know my situation because, it's a pride thing. I mean, I'm going to be real with it. I leave a job of 19 years and here I don't have food in my apartment. No, I'm not going to let you know that I'm hungry. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to let you know that I made to you that you could say, my God, she made the biggest mistake in her life. So I wasn't going to let people know that Achilles heel. So, but people would come and ring, say, hey, Yang, come on, I want to take you. I'm going to lunch. Come on, let me take you with me. They would come and say, hey, for dinner. Hey, come on, I'm going to dinner. Come on. They did not know I didn't have, things in my cupboard. The people in my apartment, they would say, okay, you know what, Anita, you've always paid your rent on time. Don't worry about this month. I was blinded to that. I was blinded to, even though I thought I didn't have money. I'm running with, I didn't money to pay my bills, but yet they were always paid. So it took me years later, way later, to say, wow, you were blinded by that. So you didn't suffer anything. You were well cared for like that sparrow that is talked about, but you just didn't see it. So that was a lesson for me to see that just because what I see with my visible eye, and that's why I love metaphysics, because metaphysics teaches us, no, you go beyond the physical. What we see out here has already been created in the invisible. Go to the source. You know what I mean? So that taught me, but my major journey is when my babies were born. When my twin girls were then I knew that I wanted to experience my relationship with God because I wanted them to see and have their relationship with God. So that's as far as that part, my spiritual, which I say is everything, that's been a big part, and it continues to be a big part of my life. I hope I didn't
Wow,
talk too much.
Dr. Anita, you have really sparked this session with your spirituality. And I love this when you said faith in God. You know, when you trust in God, in your Lord, and if you give your heart burdens of your life to your Lord, your life will become beautiful. You will be carefree. You will not have any tensions. You will sleep fully. And that's the positive vibes, Dr. Anita, you are radiating in today's show. And I can feel those vibes sitting in India. I can feel you. So awesome, Dr. Anita. I'm so blessed to have you one of my guests
Oh,
today. Thank you so much.
I'm blessed to be here. It's my honor. Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
in this journey of your life, Dr. Anita, being a woman, because women are considered to be emotional, sensitive, you know, very fragile. In your life, had you ever encountered some of the challenges which you said, oh my God, where am I? What should I do? And how you have overcome those challenges? I would love to know that.
Oh, absolutely. Even today, it's not about, and this is one thing I'm learning too. Yes, it's about what we're going to, because there are lessons. We came here to learn lessons. You know what I mean? That's just, and sometimes those lessons are uncomfortable. We just have to understand that that challenge is a lesson. And once I learn the lesson within that challenge, then I'm going to grow. My soul is going to grow. As far as, of course, as far as being a single woman, oh my gosh, yeah, the experiences, the frailty that was being alone, at night, being afraid for maybe my daughters and myself, but being a single sole supporter. Of course, I have my family that helped me, but we're in a family. My mother raised us. Hey, you got to be able to take care of you. That's what it is. And bless her heart. I love my mother. She's made her transition. But before she did, I said, Mama, I wouldn't have chosen any other woman but you to because you taught us well. So yes, I felt challenges. I still do. As far as the frailty or the womanhood, I love being a woman. I love being a girly girl. I
Super.
have no issues exuding my sensuality or my sexuality, because that is a gift from God. I now raising my girls, I have been told by even men that, okay, you remind me of a man. And I said, okay, well, that's cool, because yeah, I'm gonna do what I got to do. It wasn't until, once I got into really understanding the energy, that, okay, we are masculine and feminine energy. Well, raising my girls, my masculine energy was more forward. I even have a haiku about it. Yin and yang. Yin, well, what was it? It's a haiku that yang was in the fore, yin stayed out of the rain just to keep dry. So that meant was, okay, I buried my femininity because there are things I needed to do to pay my bills and this kind of thing. So my feminine energy was I kind of suppressed it so that masculine energy can come out, for those ideas and that knowledge, so, and then once I've learned that, okay, now I'm ready to balance the feminine and the masculine energy. Now it is more of a balance in life. But yeah, as far as now growing up as a child, I might say frailty, because growing up, I did not have high self-esteem. I did not. So I didn't go to my high school prom. I hid it well. And that's the thing. To even growing up, I hid my insecurities very, very well. So, and then when it came to a point where there was a time that I peaked and said, okay, it's time that I needed to get some type of help, because all of that suppression, of course, it comes to the fore when it's time. So, I had to, take care of that, and learn to go to resources to get help with that. But as far as feeling weak, I didn't have the luxury to feel weak.
Awesome. Then I will say you are the strongest woman on this earth, Dr. Anita.
No.
You really, and you have infused those confidence. A woman has to be a balanced woman. Everybody will expect that she will be a superwoman, super wife, super mother, and you all have those qualities inculcating in your personality. So I will say only one thing, that's really challenges. You found an opportunity, and in those opportunity, you really nailed it. Well, great.
Yeah.
Yes, please tell me.
Yeah. One challenge that because of that role, I guess, if you will, that I was playing in this life that is a stage, that is a dream, that is a theater, that masculine, what was I going? That masculine energy, that had to. I forgot my thought. It was something you just said. I was saying something about that particular thing, but it just left my mind. So I guess it, was one of the. Well, one thing I have to say that in all through the challenges, what all that did was to. I had to lean on. I had to lean on God.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, that was, I was going to say, one of the challenges that was mine is asking for help, because I always did. That was a hard thing for me to do, is ask people for help. It was very hard. I had to overcome. It took me years to overcome, to say, hey, I need help. I'd give to you, because that's my thing, But even when I developed diabetes in 2019, that was one of the metaphysical things that I had to learn. Praise God, I don't have diabetes anymore because I, did the work, whatever. But one of the things, the metaphysical reason for me having diabetes was because I gave love, but I rejected it for me, because there was something in me that did not feel worthy or deserving. So I had to do the work to get that, to get that illusion, because it's an illusion. Of course, it's not true. We're all worthy and deserving, and you know what I mean? Absolutely. So I had to work to get past that challenge, which was a lesson for me to learn, because that's the way I felt all my life, was that I wasn't worthy, I wasn't deserving, kind of thing. So that developed for me into diabetes, to show me you gave, but you didn't let nobody in to give it to you.
Wow, Dr. Anita, that's really, you set an example to the world that if you are in faith in God and a very strongness in your heart, nothing is impossible. And for you, I will say, the word impossible is just like I am possible. Dr. Anita can do this in a very, very strong manner. So hats off to you, Dr. Anita, for your great courage, bravery, and the way I loved it. You handled your family and your personal life, professional, and that's a great beauty in your journey. And I must appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you. Bless your heart. But I gotta say, a lot of it though, a lot of it was done through the fear.
Yeah.
I feared. I mean, it wasn't like, okay, here's me, I'm curtain. No.
Oh, that's the, I can see the aura, the positivity which God is blessing you. And if a person is blessed, then, a special aura, you can feel the positive vibes. You can feel, sitting in India, I can feel, the positive vibes coming from US right now to me.
Ditto. Yeah. I feel you too, beautiful. I feel it. That's why I'm so comfortable with you, because I'm feeling your energy. So I thank you.
Great. Well, Dr. Anita, in this beautiful journey with you on this show, my next question I want to ask about your work which you are doing. You're the founder. Tell me something about your work which you do.
Sure. The first thing, the Tap Into You movement, that that started. I just didn't know the beginning of it was when I worked in the prison. You know, I worked 15 years in outside of the prison and 4 years in the prison system, maximum men. And what I would do, I would talk with the brothers, you know, just if I'm walking the grounds or whatever, because they were so very talented, the excellence of their work. And I would ask them, how did you know? I mean, how long did you know that you had this talent? And it wasn't a round table discussion that we're all sitting here and everybody's saying one thing and people are copying. No, this would be individual times that I'm talking with these brothers. And there was a common thread when I asked that. How did you know? And each one of those brothers said to me, I didn't know what I had until I was forced to be still and go inside myself. That was the beginning of the Tap Into You movement, meaning that power, presence, essence, love of the creator of the universe is in here. We are an external driven society. Everything we get validation on the outside. We pick things on the outside. Tap Into You began with the concept, no, you know, let's get confirmation from the outside, but go to the source, which is on the inside. So it's Tap Into You, and it's TAP, the letter N, the number 2, the letter U. And that represents 6, because 6 is the number of universal love, and it's also the 2 threes of self and expression, love and affection, and the Holy Trinity. The soul, the mind, and the spirit. So that's the Tap Into You. And right now I brought back my studies. I'm studying. It's called theocentric psychology, and all that means is that God-centered way of living, really trusting our intuition, and that's part of the Tap Into You. It's like, you know, we've got to really, and that's the main thing. The thing we have to trust our inside. But that's the one thing that we have to start on the outside, because it's one of those things, if I don't trust what I see, because we're external data driven, if I don't trust what I see in the mirror, I'm not going to trust what I don't see inside of me. So we have to start from the outside. However, it evolved to also saying, you know, we've been at an imbalance for so, and both men, women, whatever, our energies have been imbalanced because we I don't know for how long, I think since the 5th century, because at one time there was no separation from the universe and nature. It wasn't only until the 5th century till that concept started coming, where there's a separate entity kind of thing. So what we've done, and then that I know with some people, you know, you're born a sinner, this and that, you know, kind of thing, you know, it's cool. However, what happened is what we've started really focusing on our humanness and our frailties. You know, okay, let me try to change this. Let me try to change that. What has evolved with the Tap Into You movement? Because I used to be afraid to say, until I just started praying maybe 3-4 years ago. I said, "Thy will be done." I pray to hear Thy will and have the courage to do it. Well, at one point, it just started saying, hey, the message is we are human and divine. The message is, do not be afraid to tap into your divinity, because it's there. I'm not saying that we are gods or whatever, but we have the power, presence, essence, and love of the universe within us, and we don't tap into it. And so the Tap Into You is, we are human and divine. Somebody say, well, you know, I'm not perfect. Yes, you are. There's a part of you that is, because if we have that power within us, absolutely, there is perfection. So the Tap Into You now has evolved to, we are human and divine, and within our imperfection, there is perfection. And once we begin to embrace that perfection, we can love more on our imperfection. Because I still have times that I feel that I don't know enough, but that's okay, because it's like, that's the part that keeps me, that's the part even that keeps me humble. That's the part that I can love now. Instead of saying, I'm trying to get rid of that, I want to get rid of that, that's no good. No, I love that part of me. I love that part that sometimes I feel that I don't have enough. But that's my karmic lesson in this life, because I believe we all have one. Mine is to learn that, yes, living with, accepting that part of you, not throwing it away, not disregarding it, embracing it. And the reason why I can embrace it, because I know there's another part of me that there is perfection. So now it's much, it's like, okay, this is so cool. It's fun. You know what I mean? So that's the tap into you, and the empowerment in spoken word. I've been a poet since I was a little girl in elementary school. I have been writing I call mine poetic affirmations. I've been writing for years and years. I'm 66 years of age, so I'm gonna say I've been writing for at least 60 years. And what I do, I started writing to myself, because and everything that I used to write, I was writing to God. I was writing about my search and all that. And it wasn't until I became an adult in my maybe 20s or 30s that I realized, okay, these pieces like are romantic. These pieces are individual. These pieces are dual. There is so much meaning to that. So I said, okay, because even when as a 16-year-old, my grandmother used to say, Angel, why don't you share your poetry? And I said, oh, Mama, I would never share my poetry. That was that self-esteem, that low self-esteem. Because I said, my thing was, if people, all you got to do, you want to know me, read my poetic affirmation. So I would share, in my mind, I said, I don't want anybody to know me that well. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, if people got to know me that well, they won't like me. So I kept that stuff to myself. But now it's out. So empowerment and spoken word poetry, a help to heal foundation, is all about inspiring, encouraging, and uplifting others who are poets and who may even want to write. But it's even more than that. Poetry is healing. There are so many benefits to poetry and spoken word. Spoken word just means, okay, you're a messenger, because we're all messengers. We're all angels. And an angel is a messenger of God. We're all
Anita, Dr. Anita, I cannot hear you. Okay. No, I can't hear you. No worries, take your time. No worries. Okay. Okay, in that case, I think we do have technical glitches. It's a part of virtual platform, but I will conclude only one thing, that today's global talk show with Dr. Anita, who is sitting in USA, has spreaded her positive voice across the world. And I am saying only one thing, that hats off to her, to her courage, determination, and everything she has given. In spite of technical glitches, she is a queen of today's talk show, and I wish her all the best in a future. Love her from the bottom and respect her from the bottom core of my heart. So let's take a lot of messages from her golden nuggets of wisdom. Keep moving on, having faith in your Lord, and trust in yourself, and love your imperfections. That only you can do, be a perfect person. So once again, I say heartfelt thanks to Dr. Anita. I'm so blessed. My evening is so blessed today with a lot of positivity. Thank you so much. Would love to be with you on another show, on another platform, and we'll enjoy the journey. So thank you so much. Once again, thank you, lovely audience, for your love, motivation. Take care. Bye-bye from India.